Imagine this. You're lying in bed, broke, frustrated, staring at the ceiling, wondering how on earth you're ever going to pay the bills. You close your eyes, and instead of replaying your worries, you do something radical. You imagine yourself in a new reality. You feel it. You believe it. You assume it's already done. And then, within weeks, sometimes days, your outer world bends to match your inner vision. This isn't a fairy tale. This is the work of Neville Goddard, a man whose teachings about the power of imagination have mystified, inspired, and even frightened people for decades. While today's self-help gurus continue to promote diluted versions of the law of attraction, Neville's teachings went deeper, sharper, and bolder. He didn't say, think positive. He said, assume the wish is fulfilled. Act as if it's already yours. Today, we're going to unravel Neville Goddard's forgotten teachings, explore his legendary law of assumption, and reveal the stories of people who applied them with jaw-dropping results. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Neville still has a cult-like following and why his secrets might just change your life. Neville Lancelot Goddard was born in Barbados in 1905, the fourth of 9 children. He moved to New York as a teenager, chasing dreams of becoming a dancer and actor. On the surface, nothing marked him as a future mystic, but in the 1930s, Neville met a man named Abdullah, a mysterious Ethiopian rabbi and teacher who introduced him to the esoteric teachings of scripture, mysticism, and the power of the imagination. Under Abdullah's guidance, Neville began to see the Bible not as literal history, but as a psychological blueprint, a symbolic text about the mind and its power. Neville would later say, "The Bible is not a record of ancient events, it is a map of the human imagination." And here's the radical part. Neville taught that imagination isn't just daydreaming, it's creation itself. He insisted that imagining creates reality. What you assume to be true, no matter how impossible it looks, eventually becomes your lived experience. Most people today know about the law of attraction. It's popular, marketable, and endlessly simplified into slogans like, think good thoughts, and good things happen. Neville, however, wasn't interested in surface-level fluff. His teaching was the law of assumption. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Live in the end result, in your imagination, until it feels natural. Reality will rearrange itself to mirror your inner conviction. As he said, dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment. Notice the difference. The law of attraction suggests you pull things toward you. The law of assumption says you become the person who already has them. It's not about attraction, it's about identity. Neville's famous stories. Neville's lectures were filled with real-world stories. Let's look at some of the most famous. 1. The trip to Barbados. Neville once longed to visit his family in Barbados, but he was broke. He told Abdullah about his desire. Abdullah said, "You are already in Barbados." Neville thought he was being ridiculous, but Abdullah told him to sleep each night in the feeling of being home. Neville practiced it, imagining himself on the warm sands of Barbados. Soon after, he received unexpected money and a free boat ticket. He made it home. 2. The Army discharge. During World War II, Neville was drafted. He didn't want to serve. He wanted to return to his wife and child. Following his own teachings, he imagined himself honorably discharged. He slept each night in that state. Within weeks, despite the odds, he was suddenly released from the army. 3. The apartment story. A woman attending Neville's lectures desperately needed an apartment. She was told it was impossible in crowded New York. Neville instructed her to imagine herself already living there. She visualized turning the key, walking into the space, feeling the joy of ownership. Within weeks, against all odds, she secured the apartment she had been told was out of reach. These weren't coincidences. To Neville, they were demonstrations of law. Here's where Neville would ruffle feathers. He said most people fail because they pray and visualize from a place of lack. They're hoping, wishing, begging, but they never step into the knowing. Think about it. If you say, "I want more money," what you're actually reinforcing is the state of not having money. Neville's correction? Don't want it. Assume it. Speak and feel as though it's already yours. As he put it, you receive not what you want, but what you are. Today's mainstream law of attraction teachers often focus on vision boards and good vibes. Neville didn't dismiss those, but he went deeper. He taught that feeling is the secret. The emotional conviction behind your assumption is what forces reality to comply. In fact, Neville warned, an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. That means your current struggles, your doubts, even your failures, they're not random. They're hardened assumptions you've been carrying unconsciously. Neville died in 1972, but his students and followers have kept his legacy alive, and modern testimonies prove his law of assumption still works. An entrepreneur credited Neville's teachings for building a multi-million-dollar business after he spent months assuming his company had already succeeded. A young woman used his methods to heal her body after doctors gave up hope, visualizing herself as strong and vibrant until it manifested. Countless others report manifesting jobs, homes, relationships, and money simply by shifting from wanting to assuming. The common thread? They stopped wishing, they started knowing. Here's the practical framework. Neville style. Define your desire. Be specific. Enter a relaxed state. Just before sleep is best. Imagine the end, not the process, the result. If you want marriage, imagine wearing the ring, not just dating. Feel it real. Immerse yourself in the feeling of already having it until it feels natural. Persist. Repeat nightly until those feelings become a dominant part of your subconscious. Neville emphasized persistence. Don't check the how. Don't worry about timing. Just live in the end. Neville's final legacy. Before his death, Neville left one haunting statement. You are God, imagining. He didn't mean you're divine in an egotistical sense. He meant your imagination is the creative force of the universe itself. You are the operant power. The key isn't luck, fate, or even prayer as most people know it. It's conscious assumption. So, the question becomes, what story are you assuming today? Whether you realize it or not, your assumptions are writing the script of your life. Neville Goddard's forgotten teachings are not about fluff or shallow positivity. They are about power. The power to step into your desire with such conviction that the world has no choice but to comply. The law of assumption is simple, but not easy. It requires courage to believe in what you cannot yet see. But if you dare, you may just discover what thousands already have. Imagination creates reality. So tonight, before you fall asleep, don't just wish. Don't just hope. Assume. Step into the feeling of your dream already fulfilled. The life you've been waiting for is also waiting for you. I hope you got value from this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to the channel so that we can continue this journey together. Thank you for watching.